open a cold one, kick back, and enjoy a week's worth of conversation from pop culture, sports, breaking news, and everything in between. Welcome to the Pine Room Podcast. At the beginning of the podcast each week, everyone on the show rolls a 20-sided die. The person who rolls the lowest number then becomes the moderator for that week's show, and it's their job to move the conversation along and switch from various topics or questions that can be found on the moderator's cheat sheet, or custom ones they've brought in themselves. If you have a question or a topic you'd like us to discuss, send us an email to contact@thepineroompodcast.com. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get into the show. You're listening to the Pine Room Podcast. And sometimes, like I said, like I'll be watching something or listening to something, and somebody will say something that normally, like 10 years ago, I would not have even blinked at, and now I go, oh, and then 4 seconds later, I go, why did I just feel? Why did that just? I shouldn't.
It's a shame we've been made to feel that way, but you also got to protect you to a certain degree. Like I'm all for being open, and you should be able to say what you want to say, do what you want to do, as long as it doesn't harm anybody. And you should not be fired. You should not be persecuted. You should not be treated badly. But you have that fear now of, well, if I say the wrong thing to the wrong person, it's not worth it because I could lose my job. I hate that feeling. It's a terrible feeling. It's not right. Yeah, it's a fucking word. Speaking of that,
that was sick, by the way. That was that goal was awesome.
Vinicius
That's
Jr.
bullshit, though. He hesitated.
I would say, how the hell do you stop that?
No.
Why do they do that every time?
Well, a lot of guys have tried.
That
to do
was
it, but-
so. That was
You're getting
sick.
a live look into Pioneer episode 134
Oh, yeah, you want to
right
intro?
now. No, we'll just
I guess we'll get into it.
that previous conversation
cold intro.
was nice, and Chris getting mad about the hesitation was
You
good.
shouldn't be. No, it's like some of those.
Well, I'll take it, Chris.
shootout-
That was fucking cool.
I'm glad that he scored. I just that throws the goalie.
You
off.
are?
What?
You wanted
Chris
him
is
to
a
score?
Vinicius Jr.
Well, he's
fan.
got money on it.
Oh.
This
Money equals happiness.
No, it doesn't. Not that I know that, but I don't know if it does.
I wanted to bring this up in a conversation because I was thinking about it on Saturday, or maybe it was yesterday, or whatever day it was, maybe NFL Sunday. Just watching. What do you guys think is the hardest position in sports? And I was thinking, there's a lot of tough ones. I feel like being a cornerback in the NFL might be the hardest position in sports because you're working against so many
in team
factors.
Sports? Yeah, I would
because
say,
not only are you stationary going against a 6'5", 6'4" wide receiver going full speed at you, you also got to worry about pass interference, whether holding, all of these different things. I think a cornerback, and I'm a huge baseball guy. I think shortstop's really hard. I think cornerback is the hardest position in sports.
In team sports, 100%.
Well, with cornerback,
I said I always often say they should be paid the most.
Yeah,
they should be paid the most.
They have such a hard job. You're going backwards against a guy going full speed forward.
Yep.
Like imagine going against DK Metcalf.
Yeah, or Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
What
Who's
about
just
one
gonna
of these guys?
Well, I was thinking maybe a goalie, but
But
or a
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper.
Goalies in these, I mean, it's not a goalie on a penalty is right there with the defensive back.
Yeah.
It's about as far as
Did
hard
you
to
see the
stop.
name of that goaltender? That goalie's last name.
I mean,
We mentioned him on the radio. Schmeichel.
oh, that's
Schmeichel.
that's
Is his
him.
birthday
That's his
today?
birthday today, Casper. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Oh, I thought it.
And he gives up a goal.
right as we say that a header. I think it was
RB,
a header.
RB
Unbelievable.
Leipzig with a goal
Wow,
against Casper Schmeichel, whose birthday it is today. So happy
man, what a
birthday, Casper.
terrible birthday
They're the
gift for
Germans, right?
Schmeichel.
Leipzig's the Germans, and they are
they're-
at the Celtic team, which is the
Wait a
Scottish
minute,
league.
What was that guy doing with that penalty kick earlier?
No, we're flipping around games, Chris.
Yeah,
see
it's
the,
like a
see
game
the
day.
red zone. Yeah, see
Yeah.
they flip around.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was on Real
I didn't know
Madrid.
that was a thing.
Real
Matt.
Madrid and AC Milan game was where the first goal we saw.
That's two headers I've seen here in like the last.
Oh yeah, and then we
5
saw
minutes.
AC Milan scored on a header or two off of a corner kick.
See,
from,
Job, you would go up and just like.
yeah, so Casper couldn't
Listen,
get his right hand.
I
back
did
on.
that one time on the playground in Warwood. I headed a soccer ball, and I thought I had a concussion. My brain felt like it went back and forth inside my skull.
In youth sports, they've like outlawed a lot of
Because
that.
I thought, oh, these guys do it all the time.
gotta
It'd be cool.
condition
It'll just be
yourself.
boom. It'll just like bounce off. My head like snapped back. And
Don't
I
you get
remember
dizzy, too?
I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
You got to get yourself
What
conditioned for it.
circumstances did you do
I don't
that
know. We
in?
were playing soccer out on the field somewhere, and the ball went up, and I was being funny, and I went like that up into the ball, and it hit me right in the forehead, and I was seeing stars. It was bad.
Stars in the daytime, huh?
This logo's awesome, Matt.
Oh, Lil?
Yeah,
Lil
I
with
like that a lot. The dog.
The dog,
yeah.
Well, and then too, Joe. I mean, we were present when you got concussed at Ocean City.
Oh yeah,
God,
jeez.
on the roller coaster.
No,
You
good
and
thing my
Curry got
head's
beat
hard.
up.
Yeah, what happened to you?
We went on the
got, like,
Thunder or
whiplash.
whatever. It was like the thing on the boardwalk, and I went up and my head smashed around in that seat with
you
Curry.
were with Curry.
Yeah.
Jarrett wasn't there.
That was before.
That was the first time we did it. Me and you went on. We were in the front car.
Oh right.
And I was good. Also, that roller coaster's kind of crazy.
For a small little ride.
But what you did, you braced too hard, right?
Yeah, I braced too. No, I didn't brace hard enough. I kept my head up. Instead of pushing it back into the seat, I kept my head forward, and anytime we hit speed, my head would just go back and forth between the seat
You
thing.
need the Hans device.
Yeah, you do on those things.
What's the Hans device?
It's in NASCAR to help brain trauma from when you hit the
after.
wall.
Is that the neck thing?
200? It's
Yeah.
head and neck.
Oh, is that
It's a
happen?
head and neck restraint that try to limit the shaking of your brain and your skull when you smash into the wall at 200 miles
Did
an
they
hour.
implement that after
Dale Earnhardt? Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt?
Yeah,
Have
it wasn't mandatory till he died.
Have you ever seen the? It's an F1. It's like the Halo.
Yeah.
And
The
if
thing's
those
incredible.
guys didn't have
Oh,
it,
they'd
their
be
heads
dead.
would just be cut
Joe
off.
Guan Yu would have died decapitated when he flipped over. Yeah, you have that protects the whole head of your.
That is
body.
such a scary sport.
At 250 miles an hour.
God, NASCAR is dangerous enough, and then F1, you're going through streets and
Yeah, and any cars
making
exposed body parts.
Yeah.
Have you seen how close those drivers get to the corner? Yeah. It's a hair. It's a hair.
Yeah.
And sometimes they hit them and it sparks and goes everywhere.
It's disturbing.
That's
Are you into F1, Matt?
Yeah,
Do you
I like
watch
F1.
it?
Yeah. It's a lot more competitive this year, which is great. You got different winners.
When do they race? Is it like, are they
Usually on
weekends?
Sunday mornings. Yeah, Sunday morning. The other day it was at noon because it was in South or North America. It was in no, we were in Brazil last week, and then Mexico. They were on this continent. They were in the United States, Mexico, and then Brazil. So it was a normal time, but most of the time it's early in the morning.
You
7
had
o'clock.
you had Mercedes and McLaren, I think.
Yeah, we did. We had, but actually Max Verstappen won in the rain. So Red Bull got it. He hasn't won in weeks.
I love
he
Team
usually
Red Bull.
dominated. Yeah, he was the dominant guy.
Well, you like Red Bull.
Yeah.
That would be
What-
your team.
who-
That's a Red Bull Leipzig. That's their sponsor.
Yeah, those two bulls
Yeah.
going at each other. That's awesome.
Yep.
What's his? Lewis Hamilton
Hamilton.
was the Mercedes guy, but he switched. Didn't
He's
he
going to switch to Ferrari next year.
Wow, that's is that a pretty big deal?
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
Lewis Hamilton's been doing this for a long time.
He was the
hasn't
dominant one before Verstappen was.
How long? He's been doing this back at like 2008, right?
Yeah, he's been.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came on the scene at a young age. He's in his early 30s now, I think, and he's dominated the sport. Max Verstappen's dominated until this year, and now you got McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes all winning races along with Red Bull. So he had 4
That's
different
such
winners.
a-
How do you
That-
get into F1 racing? Because it's such a unique version of cars. Like the tires, the speed which you're going
Yes.
at, the turns. It's so different than NASCAR or just even street racing. I don't know how you get into
it's
it.
a wealthy man sport. If you, the people that follow it are wealthy. You can't go to the races without being wealthy. The teams are incredibly wealthy. The tracks that they go to, you get a lot of those ones in the Middle East with those oil trillionaires and just very, very rich areas. Now it's come to the United States a little bit more than it used to, so it's growing back in. But I don't know. People love the prestige of it, just the beauty of it. The cars are incredible. The drivers' reflexes and motor skills are just off the charts. If you ever want to see something amazing, go and look up some of the pre-race things that they do, the blinking drills and
I've seen
the
those,
balls
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It is amazing. You think that your reflexes are pretty good for like a basketball player or a football player. These dudes, I mean, they're literally, like you were saying,
Yeah.
it's like a hair.
Yeah.
Like your hair off, you could kill somebody.
And Cooley is a big advocate of this. And I think if you think this, then you don't know what you're talking about. Is if you say that those racers, specifically F1, are not athletes,
Oh, please.
that is the most ridiculous thing ever. Those guys, they might not be running around out here or tackling a guy on a football
Check
field.
their heart rates.
But their brain function has to be so high. I bet you after those races, those guys are just
They are
exhausted.
You can tell they're exhausted. Their heart rates. They have to keep their heart rates controlled. They have to keep they can't blink. You literally can't blink for hours. Like you're full speed till you might be able to blink for like a second when you're in the pits for.
I think about it in the fact, like, people say that in NASCAR you just turn left. Think about it, like, if you've been in heavy traffic in Pittsburgh or heavy traffic in Washington, D.C., that for you're going 100 miles an hour faster with not even bumper to bumper, you're basically touching the cars. That for, what, 2 hours, 2-3 hours?
3 hours.
Constantly. That's exhausting just when you're in regular fucking traffic.
Yeah.
I was looking at the F1 teams. What team would you guys like to be on? So you got McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull Racing, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Alpine, Haas, RB, Williams, and Kick Sauber.
Red Bull.
You only have 4 teams that can really compete. So you got you said them.
Well, you're the big money team.
Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren, and Ferrari are the only. Last year was Red Bull just dominated. Now those 4 teams all have won this year, and then there's a big drop off to Aston Martin.
Yeah, Aston Martin.
And Aston Martin's not bad. They've gotten better than they were, but like you go down to Williams and some of those Alpines, just okay. They're lucky to get a guy at the top 10. That's like a win for them.
Mercedes is 300 points ahead of Aston Martin.
Yeah.
And then
fifth,
they're 200 behind Red Bull.
Behind Red Bull, yeah.
God damn.
And Red Bull has a great racer. Other racers been terrible.
I think that is so cool that like McLaren and Ferrari, like these luxury supercars.
The cars are amazing.
That's
and
so
those Aston
cool.
Martins, I mean, Aston Martins look great, but they just can't keep up
such a
speed.
badass.
Matt, have you ever
car.
seen when like an elk goes across the F1 track?
Yeah.
Like it's not a car hitting a deer. It's these it just turns to dust.
it's mutilation.
Like it just turns.
Complete
Yeah,
mutilation.
it just turns the goo.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's one. I saw one where a guy hit a moose.
Yeah.
And the moose went like 1,000 feet in the air, came back down on. And
That had to do a lot of damage to the car.
There's been some really bad ones of some of the racing motorcycles that have hit animals, and the guys go flying, and that's dangerous as fucking hell.
There was the one video that was viral a long time ago. Is a guy an actual guy tried to go from one side of the F1 track to the other side of the F1 track, and it hit him and just tore him in half, in one, just boom, in half.
Idiot.
But
so what? So it was an actual guy compared to what? You said it was an actual guy.
yeah, it was an actual guy. Well, I meant because
like
we were
a
talking about
dummy or-
animals, like we were talking. I mean, like a human
like a
being,
man.
a man.
A guy like an I
Yeah.
got you. Because you were talking about animals.
Right,
Okay.
right, and it did not go well, and those drivers are, I think, they
Matt,
were
what do
pretty.
you think it would be more taxing for a driver? And I'll just say NASCAR, like a 500-mile race at Talladega or like Martinsville or Bristol.
Well,
because you're so close, and it seems like you're constantly turning left because they're such short tracks.
I've heard different guys give different answers to that, and I always wondered that which one was worse on the body. For the longest time, a lot of them identified Darlington as being one of the toughest on the body. But I remember hearing Richmond and Martinsville are very tough because there is no banking, and it's just a lot more torque on the body. Whereas if you're at Talladega, you're racing in tight quarters, but the drafting, it alleviates you. You can actually probably breathe a little bit once in a while when you're lined up in the draft. But I mean, I don't think any of them are easy. I would say your easiest tracks would probably be you're like Kansas or some of those ones that aren't those the real high banked speedways, like the mid-tier ones where you kind of get spread out. Michigan, that's a boring, those are probably your easier track. Rod
Stewart. Yeah, he loves
celebrating
Celtic.
Yep.
He's like 900.
Rod Stewart,
Hey,
really?
What
his
about that?
favorite
Because they added those dirt tracks now. That one, it's like there's like hairpin turns, and then that dirt track, and guys would go over top the mud. Oh shoot! I think it was last year we were watching the Pine Room. Might have been Bristol. Yeah.
They didn't do the dirt this year with it. Well, they're not going to because
That's gimmicky.
they probably
don't need
wore
that.
out. It got to be messy.
I wonder what the next one's gonna be. What the next gimmick's gonna be?
Well,
Should be like
no,
horse
they're
carriages.
racing. Wait, where are they racing? They're racing inside of something. I think they're going to race inside. I might be wrong about this. I might have had a dream. I think like MetLife Stadium or something. Like part of the track's going to go through. They just did announce, because Sam had texted me about it. It was a while ago. But the next new thing that they're going to try for NASCAR, I think. Because they're doing it. They already did it in the LA Coliseum.
You're right.
Which was really strange and it was kind of cool. But
for one time.
For the All-Star race.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these like mock-up ideas for NASCAR races. There's one that is inside. It looks like a baseball field. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm gonna see if I can figure it out.
And they're playing another. Who's playing? There's a baseball game, Jarrett. I think is going to be played in Bristol Motor Speedway.
Reds and Braves.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be so cool.
There's going to be 100,000 people there.
But I'm still having a hard time understanding how they're going to lay this diamond out. That banking. I don't know if there's enough room.
That'd be really,
I'd love
really
to see
cool.
the sketches of how that's going to be set. Because
I'm gonna
Chris,
look that up now.
you've been to the Bristol track, right?
No,
you haven't.
I have not. No.
Well, then I know your guy's dad has. Like literally, there's no room at all. Like it's so small. In the infield, they have to park these transporters like an inch apart because there's so little room.
That's what it looks like it's going to be. They're going to fit the stadium. So it looks like home plate would be towards the middle.
Because I was thinking it was going to go like you're down the left field line was going to be you're almost going to be into the banking. So that's kind of how it is. Like you're right up against. Wow,
wouldn't that be cool?
I wonder if they measured that out and they were probably like, "Whew, we just made it." Yes. Like we literally could not have. It couldn't be any smaller. I wonder what the dimension's going to be to left field.
Maybe I'll try to see if I can find that. Wouldn't that be amazing if I
would love to go to that game. That'd be neat.
Wonder what tickets would be like. That'd be a fun trip to go.
Probably
expensive. Even if
you get a lot of people,
100,000 seats,
you can fit a ton of people in that.
Yeah, that might be. What would you pay for? What would be your top?
Is NASCAR that much more popular than MLB?
Well, it's just because it's a stadium. That race used to be the richest, like the biggest race, the hardest race ticket to get.
See, that
Thanks
to each his own. That doesn't impress me. I think it's cool that they can do that, but I wouldn't buy the ticket just to go, I'm going to go watch a baseball game inside of Bristol Motor Speedway.
I think maybe if you saw a race, you might think a little bit different about it because I'm curious to see how it would look because I just, that was neat to see.
I just saw it.
No, I know that, but you saw it, but if you see it with the racing, and then, I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm going to go to it, but if I was in the area and someone said, hey, I got a ticket for that, I'd consider going.
I'm not taking it.
It's not like somebody's going to ask me to go to a Taylor Swift concert.
I got an idea, Job. Let's have figure 8 tracks.
Right.
So they intersect.
Right.
And then in some of these tracks, put in a ramp or a jump. Just like the dirt bikes.
That's
like a steeplechase.
Then you get into the I would make sure to go to one of those. I would clear my schedule to go to a figure 8 track, and they should be. You're not allowed to touch a brake. Like Daytona.
Oh, for that section, you
just
throttle
gotta go,
only.
Throttle.
So
only.
like once you hit the certain spot, you have to throttle only.
And you can't if you touch the brake, you get like time
or it doesn't have to be just like when you're up there on Table Rock, you go over the dip there.
Right.
Just have something little like that, but you're going 200 miles an hour.
Oh my.
They go so far.
Right.
I mean,
now that would be entertaining.
It'd be like at Kennywood when you can stand on the side of the ride and you can spray the riders with water.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
Yeah.
It should be like that at the stadium where you can throw things onto the course.
What would you throw?
Like paint buckets and
probably some ECW stuff. Like a rake.
Yeah.
Like a big
thing of tacks.
Tacks.
So do you purchase the paint buckets in, or you just bring?
You can bring your own, but they also
it's like
sell
a fundraiser
things if you forget.
Yeah,
but
you
I
can
think
buy
it'd be
them.
more fun if it's filled with paint when they hit it. Then
it's only registered items though. You can't bring in like explosives, grenades.
Right.
Oh,
you gotta keep it a little civilized.
Right, like TLC, like tables, ladders, chairs,
Yeah.
but you can go under the mat, get a couple like box of nails.
Ooh, goal.
Yeah, because
I get like a bowling ball.
Yeah, right.
Like when I always why would there be a cheese grater underneath the mat?
Hornswoggle's under there.
Yeah.
Making pizza.
Jesus.
Like, why would anybody ever have a giant bag of thumbtacks? Why?
It was just
they had a big bulletin board.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who was it that got thrown through the light? Was that
John
Randy Orton?
Cena. Say thought he was dead. No.
No, I thought
the
it was
Great Khali squeezed Rey Mysterio's
Mysterio's
head, and Say went to school the next day and thought they killed Rey Mysterio.
Who thought that?
Say he thought they killed him.
But who got thrown?
He cried. He was crying watching Rey Mysterio get his. And Rey had those things in their mouth you can crush and they bleed.
Yeah.
He said his mouth is bleeding, his eyes are bleeding. He said he thought he killed Rey Mysterio. He went to school crying.
And you know what though? I hate Rey Mysterio. I hate that character because every match it's just weird how it always happens. The guy just happens to be on the rope,
Right.
set up for the 6.
Right.
What is it?
The
The
619.
He just stumbles forward onto the
I
rope.
loved that move. I thought that move was the coolest
50
thing
matches
ever.
before that, he's never come close to doing that. And then just by chance, when he fights Ray, he falls onto the
Yes,
rope.
yeah. That guy, right. Whoever his opponent is, that never happens. He never falls that way at all.
Or you think his manager would say, hey, whatever you do, don't go onto fall off the rope.
He's got a bad manager.
Right. You know what he can do. You know what his go-to move is the 619. Avoid that at all costs.
Right.
But it just
Or if you happen to fall there, make sure you get off.
yeah.
Chris,
But
who was your favorite wrestler?
I don't know. I mean, Stone Cold was that era.
That was a great character.
Stone Cold and
What, Attitude? Was that Attitude?
Yeah.
It was Stone Cold
and
and
Rock.
and Triple H and DX.
DX.
Oh, those guys.
It was a good run.
They
They
got away with a lot.
Stone Cold kind of changed the WWE with his things that he says, like the what and the 4 beers, 5 beers, 6 beers.
Yeah, and that's the Austin 316. How that just
Those shirts were
erupted.
everywhere.
just blew up.
Why was it
Blew up.
316?
Just
Is that
because of the Bible
yeah,
verse,
John
John
3:16.
3:16.
Oh, right.
Austin 316.
And that came about. What
Yeah.
did he win King of the Ring.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And he was like-
actually, it was a documentary about it I just watched not that long ago about how he just kind of out of nowhere he just come
Yeah,
up
and
with
he
it.
said he was whoever was interviewing him at the time, because I think those guys were kind of had to come up with their own
Yeah.
gimmick or their own lines, and he just said, "Oh, your Bible verses and whatever," and he says, well,
Yes.
mine just says Austin 3:16. I just whipped
So-
your ass,
yeah.
and then it just
Yeah.
it just went off from there. I mean, that
That
was
was great because then you had McMahon being a total
Well, yeah,
heel idiot.
yeah.
He
Incredible
stunnered the
stuff.
whole McMahon
Yeah,
family.
it was.
Yeah.
I mean, Vince
Linda.
McMahon did awesome, and Linda was in there.
The grandma got stunnered.
Yeah, everybody, Stephanie and Shane.
Yeah.
It was.
Shane used to jump off the top of those.
He would do
Yeah.
crazy stuff. You ever see the one where him and who was the guy? He was he bald head, big guy. He was in the Olympics.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. He took Shane McMahon and he was trying to throw him over his head into glass behind him. And he
Oh, yeah, I saw-
he
yeah,
threw
yeah.
him once
I
and,
saw the
and
eye-
Shane
it
hit,
didn't go,
and
yeah.
his head just went right into the concrete.
Yep.
And Shane said, "Do it again,
Do it again.
do it
yeah.
again." And
Did
he
you
did
watch
it.
that on Netflix?
Yeah, And somebody was pissed. Vince was pissed
Yeah.
about it.
That was a really well done documentary. It was
Yeah,
really,
he-
really entertaining.
It was
tried to
unbelievable.
brought me back to a lot
tried
of
to
good times.
suplex him from it, like
Yeah.
his back was facing the glass, and he tried to suplex him over his
Yeah, it
head.
didn't crack.
into the glass, and it didn't break, and he fell and hit his head on the concrete.
Yeah.
and he
Wait,
threw,
He
Sh-
fell on his head
McMahon-
because the glass didn't
like he
break.
went
Yeah.
upside down, and his head
Right.
was on like facing down, and he hit the glass and slid down and hit his head off the concrete. But then he did it again and smashed him through it again.
Yeah.
Then they went through the glass
And then
he
back through, yeah.
the glass.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And they talked about like they didn't prior to like stuff like that. They didn't care about guys' head injuries
No.
and stuff like that. Kind of started to make them aware. Okay, we got to clean this up a little bit. We got guys using drugs. We got guys getting their brains
well,
beat
because
in.
then it was what's his name went and he killed his family. Who was the
Benoit.
Benoit,
Oof,
yeah.
that
Then
was
that changed
friggin'
the way
nuts.
they care about their wrestlers. But that dude was,
CTE.
yeah,
That's
that
like
dude.
football.
Jesus.
When do you think that wrestling started to go downhill? Because I feel like when Jub and I were kids, it still was pretty big, like with Cena and
Yeah.
That was the
I'll
last
say
time,
after
like,
that,
Triple H
and Randy Orton and those
Yeah,
guys.
Randy Orton.
That was a pretty good run, and then that was the end.
That was the end because then right after that was the PG era, and they catered to kids, and that was it.
Well, that was like when, because they took like a break, didn't they? Wasn't there like a break of the WWE?
I don't think so.
Or am I losing my mind?
I
don't
mean,
think
they had
so.
the COVID break.
Yeah, I
Had
guess that maybe-
Then they started doing all that rehearsed stuff, and they
That's
also
what I don't like
changed
about it now.
the WrestleMania. They made into like a soap opera event. It was like all
Yeah.
scripted. It was like it had its own like themes to them. It was very weird. It was like all choreographed, like more so than even a real live action sports event.
I went down a really long WWE rabbit hole a couple months ago, and I actually watched a live event for the first time probably in at least 10 years, at least, and it was actually pretty entertaining. There were some things that were really stupid, like the scripted
Yeah.
talking and
the
stuff like that.
athleticism of the characters are still pretty good.
Some of the things
and
they
some of the
do-
girls they have are
really
good.
good now. Yeah.
But the storylines stink, and their dramatization of
Yeah.
it is so bad.
I'm a big Rhea Ripley guy now.
Yeah.
Rhea
Yeah,
Ripley.
she's awesome.
Yeah,
they still got some talent in that industry, but I don't know. I think that edginess is missing, and that's part of what we were talking about before we even started the show. I don't even know. I guess it was recorded, but just about the censorship of life. Like, you have to be careful of everything.
The Rock dropped an F-bomb, and I think they rumored that they're going back to the attitude, like that kind of era where they're trying to get towards the adult.
So they'll offend somebody.
That's what they're trying to do.
You know what's amazing is back in those days, Chris, it was like, even if you were on one side or the other, like, there wasn't like all this media blow up about it offending people like there will be now. People just like it was a character, it was a plot, it was like drama playing out in front of
comedy. They
right.
kill comedy.
It was
also,
great.
Like the Iron Sheik, everybody was patriotic because he was the enemy of the state.
Yes.
Yeah,
like rally
and now
it.
you know what that would be? That would be called let's see,
cultural appropriation.
Yeah, it would be like you're anti-Muslim or whatever. You'll be anti-Middle Eastern. You'd be a bigot.
I think they do have I think he's an Arab guy, and he wears a turban that's real long.
The stuff that they did there with the way that they would portray people from like the Polish people and I mean it was hilarious in like Snuka and just some of those. I mean it was. Again, I don't think it was offensive at all. I thought it was incredibly humorous and well done. But like nowadays, it's like, oh, that's so terrible. You're making fun of people.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I would like to see. This is when we talk about like time travel and things back. I would like to see in 100 years if we go back. Because I think we will.
I think people are getting sick of it. I think people are pushing back a little bit.
Because I think that it gets to a point where you what's the saying? It's like you giving a step, you take a mile or something.
Give them an inch, they take a mile.
Give them an inch, take a mile. Yeah. Like, you're inclusive to a degree, and then it starts to go towards...
It's silly.
It goes towards a direction that's not necessary, and you get comedians now that are actually... I think, like, you get a Shane Gillis that is actually going towards...
Oh, they hate him.
Like
he pisses people off. It's awesome. I love him.
It's great.
He is so fucking funny.
I think there's a large population of people that are starting to be like, you know what? You know, we asked for something, but it's starting to get, a little too. It's starting to get a little too down the rabbit hole. But I hope we get back to. And some movies, I don't remember the last time there's been a movie that's been like over the top. I don't remember the last time I've really laughed at a movie.
Yeah, there's not many of them out there. It's just you're getting a few people push back. That's it.
And these people that get the fake outrage, don't they have better things to do with their time? Can't they focus their energy on something else? It's not that big of a deal. And you talk about this was pre Attitude Era, but you remember Magnificent Morocco, right? Yeah. He was hilarious. He was a great bad guy. He used to call Tito Santana a wetback all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd make fun of Chief Jay Strongbow because he was an Indian. And his name was Joe Scarpa. He was an Italian guy, but he was billed and his character was an Indian.
And they made fun of all those people. All different ethnicities.
Nobody got upset. I mean, it was an act. That was what they did. And
plus, I will say this, this is a weird take, but like it educated me a lot about the world when I was young. Like I then understood like the Polish stereotypes and like and if you were a little kid and your parents didn't watch the news, which mine did, but like you didn't know the Cold War was going on, it brought that to your attention.
I was just saying
you learned something.
We talked about it today.
You learned a lot about it.
That got you a quiz question.
Yeah,
correct.
Right.
The Bolsheviks.
And but the one thing that and I was old enough to realize, but when I was little and you'd watch studio wrestling on Saturday mornings or whatever, and that's when it all got started. But the bad guy, in my mind, that's how that person was in real life.
Oh, like you saw him, like if you would see him out in real life at like a coffee shop, you thought he was the enemy.
He'd be in character.
Like I'd hate to go into McDonald's to see that guy because he scared the shit out of me.
Yep.
Because you were what's that, kayfabe but you stayed in character the whole time.
Yeah.
No matter whether you were in the ring or not. And I used to all the time, whether it was a good guy or the bad guy, I'm like, and I can't remember some of the guys off the top of my head, but those I just thought that's who they were like George Animal Steele.
Yeah.
I thought the guy was
He's
a
coming
nitwit.
with-
He
Like
just
if you walked into a McDonald's and he was in there, he'd just pick you up and
And,
like
and his
squeeze
tongue would
you.
still be green
yeah,
in there.
and
Like
And he wouldn't have a shirt on.
he'd have- his back would be out.
real
yeah.
hairy.
and then as it evolved, then then they started telling you that it's not there's nothing fake about it. It's fixed. I mean the outcomes are determined, but
Right.
I don't want to get body slammed by a 300-pound guy or someone jump off the top rope and give me the
you still got to
frog
be a
splash.
good athlete for that.
Yeah,
Well,
but knowing that those guys are just 100% in character, that I mean, I was older by then, but it was like it's still it took away from it.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't watch it much now.
but you also find out that those guys in real life are actually like really normal, genuine human beings.
Yeah,
like
most
the
of them,
Undertaker.
yeah.
When I was a kid,
he's an
he
awesome
scared the
dude.
hell out of me. I thought he was the devil incarnate. And then you watch like a video. He had Trump. He talked to
Yeah,
Trump.
he's boys with Trump.
And he's just
Him
like
and-
a
so is
normal
Kane.
dude.
Trump had a podcast that he was in the middle of Kane and Undertaker.
They're brothers, right?
Yeah, they said
Well,
they were
and they
brothers.
burned
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
right.
And Paul Bear was one of them's father. Remember
Did
that?
you-
Remember that storyline,
Yes.
Chris?
Didn't they
Yeah.
bury him in
Yeah,
concrete?
they buried him in
Yeah.
concrete. Yeah.
Did you see it when Undertaker came back this year, Joe? And
He could.
He came
no,
behind.
that's sad.
No, well,
He couldn't beat Roman Reigns.
but he came. He was The Rock. The Rock was there.
Oh yeah, when he choked
When he-
slammed the Rock.
when
Yeah.
the lights went out,
Yeah.
and the
That
Rock's
was-
like the Rock was unbelievable. The whole
I don't
time
really
he
like
never
him.
he never turned around.
His face,
until-
he's just a great character, but he was an asshole.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
he
really
was.
like
Did
him.
people hated
Rock.
The Rock though? And,
Yeah.
and-
Yeah,
Oh, I
was-
could.
he was-
but I appreciated him for.
Oh, for sure.
He was his mannerisms
He was
and the
funny.
eyebrow and all that. I mean,
When
the
he
dude,
would-
the dude played it
he-
perfectly.
when he
It
took
was
some of his
great.
lines
when he
were
took
so
a
good.
stunner.
Oh, he was great. He was great.
When he would take a stunner from the Rock, he
Oh,
would
the
like
way he would
flip.
act. He could
I love
spin, fall, turn. Yeah.
And it becomes such a meme now. The one where I forget who he was talking to, and he just says, "Shut up, bitch."
It was
Yeah.
it was McMahon. It was
Incredible.
Oh yeah, because he said, I forget what he said. But another thing, did people like John Cena? Because I feel like it was mixed.
he was the
younger-
he was a young boy coming up, young kid. Everybody loved him. Then they turned him to a heel, and then he came back to being a good guy, and he was the.
Yeah, but it seemed like even when he was back to being a baby face, that the crowd was still like they didn't like.
Yeah,
him.
he was kind of like an A-Rod. Like he was
Yeah.
just that good. He was always there. He was everywhere, and he kind of pandered
He
towards
overdid.
kids.
It was just there too much. Yeah.
Didn't like the gear.
People
all
get
the-
tired of that
Yeah.
after a while.
Have you seen the chant of where you can tell the younger kids are screaming, "Let's go Cena," and then when they would finish that, you could hear the older crowd go, "Cena sucks."
Yeah.
They would go, "Let's go Cena."
Right, so
Cena sucks. Where are you
Okay.
going?
He's leaving, taking his bag.
He
He's
just
gonna
took a
go
bag and
dress
left.
up like Grimace.
I had a. I
What
had a
episode
video
are
of
we
this.
on? Let's reset the show for those people living at home.
Episode 1.
Dessert is an essential part to a quality life, and quality desserts make life all the more better. Had a long day at work and you need something sweet? Maybe you're out late and you need the perfect snack to cap off your evening. Or you're just a dessert lover with a knack for the finest of sweet treats. Well, say hello to the Brownie House, home of the best brownies ever. A family bakery dedicated to baking the world's best gourmet brownies, baked with premium imported chocolate, high-quality ingredients, and no preservatives. No prepackaged, pre-made, fake-tasting chocolate, no. These brownies are made from scratch, shipped nationwide, and delivered right to your door. And starting right now, you can head to yesbrownies.com and use the code PINEROOM, all caps, during checkout to receive 20% off your order. For the best brownies and more, take a trip to the Brownie House.
34.
All
Because
right.
last episode I introed and said the wrong number.
So welcome in. Pioneer
Yes,
Podcast,
welcome in.
episode 134.
Yeah, we're 40 minutes in.
40 minutes in here. I think I
Chubb,
have
Jarrett,
this.
Chris, and myself, Matt. We're the all family version.
Yeah, the
of
family version on an election day.
on election day. Can't we all just get along like Reginald Denny said back in the day, Chris?
Yeah, after he took
He's get beat apart.
a brick to his skull.
Who the hell's Reginald Denny?
He's a truck driver out in
L.A. riot.
Los
It
Angeles.
was bad. It was
The
bad.
Rodney King era. It's bad. People think things are bad now. They have no idea. Reginald Denny got pulled out of his hauler and just beat to pieces.
You could be a truck driver.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be tough. Nah, probably not.
Well, Jarrett, get back to your question about a half hour ago. You say cornerback as far as it difficult.
Oh, yes.
I'd say quarterback.
Quarterback?
Just trying to process all that information.
That's probably number two.
I mean, I don't physically to me like the hardest would probably be like I don't know, hockey. I think you got to be super. They're on a whole different world to be able to skate like that. Control a puck, keep your head up. I mean, nothing's easy, but I just think with how fast those guys are coming to the quarterback.
Yeah,
and trying. I mean, you got like three or 4 seconds to make your decision. Sometimes less than that. It's I don't know. And when you get back to the quarterback, you know back in the day, they didn't have so many rules that favored the offense.
Yeah,
you were able to bump and run. You could touch a guy now. It's and all those penalties we bitch about. The automatic first down. It's so devastating.
That's
whatever
terrible.
It might be.
It literally
holding,
is
the worst.
Every play. I hold my breath, especially
You
when
can't
I'm
even
betting.
celebrate. You're not even able to celebrate.
Like all right, touchdown. Okay, no flags.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
we're
like
good.
on the soccer. You got to wait for it to be offside or whatever. You got to be
Jarrett,
careful with all that.
That game I
It's a
went to
horrible
Sunday,
feeling.
that was the actual. I mean, the game that Browns. But the one thing about there were a limited amount of flags, and none of them impacted anything. Like the Browns only had a handful, and it might have been offsides or procedure. There wasn't any 50-yard penalties for interference. That was
that's
a
a
good
rarity.
thing.
That was the complete opposite of my experience because we said it on Friday. Me and you, we've been to our fair share of NFL games this year. But when I went to the Monday night game against the Giants last week, there were so many goddamn flags that the first half, I swear to God, was at least an hour and a half long. The first half. And then second half wasn't too bad, but just the amount of flags. I haven't had very good luck on the length of games that I've been to. I've been to the Sunday night game when it rained and lightninged. I didn't get home till like 2:30, and then the Monday night game against the Giants that was 3 hours long.
You know what seemed to go fast Sunday was the halftime. Halftime started, and we were sitting there, and I was telling Matt yesterday that it was Military Day, so they honored those people, which was awesome. And then at halftime, the U.S. Army had a band.
Oh, really?
They rocked. They had this chick singing. She was belting it out. They played they played Metallica. They played Heart.
Oh yeah, he says she's singing Barracuda.
Oh my God! And she was hitting all those high, and it was great. And the next thing you know, we got had to get a hot dog,
Salmon,
some sauerkraut. No, that was
pregame.
Salmon.
And then next thing you know, they're lining up to kick off. But I mean, that was one good thing. But
you had a good experience though.
Oh yeah. Got to meet our friend Kelsey. She was awesome. And I was telling Matt yesterday. I said when we talk to you, I said we understand that we can't put you in a spot where we actually want you to bash the Browns, but you can't. It's all like
Yeah.
So and she said, yeah, I know, I appreciate that, but that was cool meeting her.
Yeah, well, if people don't know what we're talking about, Chris got to go to the Chargers at Browns game on Sunday.
Media member.
Yes, as a media member of our
Big
partner,
time.
the Browns, which is really cool. They got to be up in the press box.
Yeah.
You said they had good food, but not much that what I would like.
You like hot dogs, right?
I do like hot dogs.
You like ice cream.
I like ice cream.
Ice cream.
Well,
Oh
the
yeah,
novelties.
drumsticks.
They even had a SpongeBob.
I'd have been going to town.
Had the gumballs on the eyes.
Yeah.
I'd have been going to town there.
Yeah, but you
Man.
know, and the funny thing is, like when you signed us up and you put the credentials on there and like our titles or whatever, like you could have put on there like
Fun haver.
Yeah, you could have put a trash collector. Nobody
Janitorial.
'cause it was so small.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, there was a guy. We were sitting, and then there was an empty space next to her. And then there was this guy, and this guy, I don't know who he was, where he was from, it looked like he was working for like some paper, like he was making $9 an hour but you could tell by this guy.
So he working for nothing.
This guy wasn't on TV.
Working
wasn't
for
on
Bob Nutting.
No, it looked like he had just gotten out of bed, and his hair was all matty, and he ate the whole game, and I don't even know what.
That's
you know
the most unhealthy profession. I say that
we talked about that,
crossed
Matt.
with people for years doing media, sports media, and it is one of the most unhealthy.
Because
all you do is eat and sit.
Yeah, if the venue is right, they'll treat you to.
Yeah, and every place that you go to, good. And I'm not even talking like small colleges, maybe a little bit, but like you start to go to like national championships and like pro events and big college. I mean, you eat like I was guilty of it. I ate like just a madman.
That was the total press box right there.
Drink like 15 Cokes during a game, just all I can eat.
Bojangles
in the morning, and then you got here comes pizzas for lunch, and then you got fried chicken from Popeyes for dinner that they bring in. I mean, you're eating 5,000 calories, and you're literally sitting. You're running a scoreboard. You're doing scorebook. You're writing a story. Like you may walk down to the field or wherever a couple of times to do. Maybe you got to take photos for your paper or whatever. But I mean, I lived that life a few times, and it's incredibly unhealthy.
Sounds like my kind of job.
Oh, it's awesome, but you'll end up dead or or morbidly obese or both.
And if you guys would ever go, or if we get to go again, how much of a freaking production that is, and how, because I was just looking
so
at
much
this,
effort for such a shitty game.
Where we were sitting down there, we were like in the third row, and so down the row in front of us to our left, there were, it looks like 17 seats for anyone related to the Chargers. Then down 2 rows ahead of us to our left, it just says all Los Angeles Chargers. So just the away team had probably 30 plus seats just for them.
Coming from Los Angeles.
If you could go to one venue as a media member, what would you go to?
The venue?
Like a Super Bowl?
Now, you know what? No, Job. I probably wouldn't. No, because it's football. I don't.
Yeah.
If I got treated the way I'd go to something like this, it's soccer, because we don't have interruptions. We just play, and you have commercials at halftime, right, Matt?
Yeah.
That's it. And you know,
I'm
easily entertained, but and Jarrett, you know how I determined Sunday who I hate, and it's not his fault. It's just his job. The fucking timeout guy that comes out on the 20 with the orange
red hat
sleeve on.
Oh gosh, to go to the media timeout.
I saw him more
TV
than anybody.
timeout guy. Everybody hates him.
It's not his fault, but I hate the guy.
Oh gosh, that's like even worse. Not to go back to the primetime games. It's like it's every fucking 5 minutes. You're going to
those are awful.
It's not his fault, but I hate the guy.
Yeah, he's a horrible
right. I'm not going to call him a dick or anything. I just don't like it because he's doing his job. But man, there's just one after another. But I don't know, Job, as far as what game. But it wouldn't be the Super Bowl. I don't care about the Super Bowl. I just wouldn't get together with friends just to have fun and hopefully win some money. But
yeah, this would be cool. Soccer would be really neat because it'd be an experience that I've never had.
I just think it would be cool. Although, you know what? I wouldn't want to, for my first time, I wouldn't want to be in the press box.
You'd want to be out with the
public. Oh, yeah, you want to be down.
Yes. And I want to be part of a chant. I want to be slugging beers with everybody and doing a sing-song, and everybody's chanting. And then the team you're rooting for wins, and then just beers are flown, and everybody's just living it up.
You might know this, and they were trying to – I think the German – I don't know. Maybe the English people were trying to – oh.
Penalty, maybe?
He's dead.
Uh-oh.
It was one way or the other, but I think it was a team in the UK, and one of their chants was like, there were 4 German bombers in the air, and then there were 2 German bombers, there was 1 German bomber, and it was like about the World War, how the UK was shooting down the German bombers, and people were trying to kill that chant because it was like referential to killing the Germans.
There's a lot of chants like that are not that are frowned upon, and a lot of them that they've tried to what's the word? I was trying to figure out how to say a different
Reinvent?
well, yeah, but like change the lyrics, I guess was what. But
Reword?
Yeah, there you go. But the people just don't care. They won't do it. Like these people are not. They're the hooligans. They're literally.
I love that
brutal.
name for them too.
But they are. They're like brutal. Like that's what I. Yeah, not to go off on a side note, but like people think about our country and we're got a lot of issues and we're people think there's a lot of racists out there and stuff, which I don't agree with. But these other countries, I mean, they're brutal to some of these players. I mean, stuff that would never happen in the United States. Like it's shocking to me.
Good Lord. I looked up some of the more offensive football chants of all time. Oh,
I mean, there's some
my
bad
God.
ones with racial things and boy. Making fun of people from certain cities and very.
Was there something that happened in Angola?
I mean,
somebody got shot in Angola or something.
I mean that was a very war-torn nation for a long time.
It said it should have been you. It should have been you. Shot in Angola. It should have been you.
I feel like I've heard that before.
Adebayo.
3 died in Angola. It should have been 4.
Oh boy.
What
team was that one for?
I don't know.
I mean, they whoever comes up with these is incredibly creative.
Well, man, wasn't there a soccer player? I'm sure it happened more than once, but a guy in a huge match scored an own goal and then they killed him.
Yeah, it's happened multiple times. But what was his name? Alex. Oh man, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I wonder if he knew he was going to die.
Jesus.
Oh,
he scored an own goal and they killed him. Where was this?
Over there.
Yeah, it was in Colombia. No, that one wasn't over there. That's just barbaric down there. Alex. Jeez, how can you not remember this? What the hell's the matter with my brain?
It's fried.
Escobar. Yeah, I think it's Escobar.
Yeah. These are awful.
Yeah, Colombia, he scored an own goal. He got murdered.
These are like really personal.
Oh, horrible. Like this. Yeah.
This one is like, this one's talking, it's sang by Swindon fans to Oxford after the passing of Oxford player Martin Aldridge.
Yeah, they'll make fun of
that. Apparently this person said the game turned nasty. They were chanting, "Who's that wrapped around the lamppost? Who's that bleeding from the head? It's Martin Aldridge and his mate, and they look a fucking state because they used to play for Oxford. Now they're dead."
Good.
See, I think that is hilarious.
Oh my God!
Incredibly, poor taste, but I think it's funny.
Holy shit!
That is creative.
Oh, they're the most brutal.
Yeah, I was looking. So I found that.
Who was it?
Martin Aldridge. It was.
He died in a car wreck?
Yeah, he died in a car wreck. This one is. Your mother is your sister. Your father is your brother. You like to fuck each other. The Norwich family.
Yeah, who sang that to Norwich?
UK?
But how do they
those two last ones were Swindon and
how do they come up? How do they
Barnsley?
Barnsley and Ipswich would be rivals.
How do they put those words into like a meaning, like a song like that?
And how do all the crowd know them?
Yes.
So in the olden times, somebody told me this. I don't know if it's true or not because I actually always wondered this, and I should have looked more into it. But they would like hand you out the lyrics as you're coming into the stadium.
Okay.
Nowadays, you can just get them on your message boards.
Yeah,
but they used to hand them out to people.
And how would they
that
know
makes sense,
the musical
And
notes?
you would put in there like with the tune of fucking whatever.
Like a song, like Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, good God.
Yeah.
This one is sang by Aston Villa supporters after Birmingham City player lost several family members in a ferry disaster in Senegal. And this is sung to the tune at Yellow Submarine.
I don't even think Birmingham and Villa would be rivals, but okay.
Is it C-I-S-S-E? C-C?
Cisse?
C-C-C-C. Cisse's family's at the bottom of the sea. Bottom of the sea.
Oh, my.
Oh my
why
God!
Why be the guy's family? Why?
Listen, they don't spare any. They do not give you the benefit of the doubt.
Now I don't think. I think I would. I would struggle with that because, like, my opinions about people being violent in sports, and you and I agree on this. It's dumb, and this feels like we're stepping it up.
But that's. I mean, you would not see this behavior in North American sports. Like, for all of our faults, I mean, this is years and generations that this hatred's ingrained. Like, you literally hate those people. Like, if you ever look into the Celtic who's on here playing right now, and Glasgow Rangers, how bad they hate each other in that area. It's disturbing. Literally to where you'll beat someone to death on the street because they're wearing either green or you're wearing the red and white. Like, it's terrifying. So in the racial stuff that these guys go through, these minority, they're making fun. All those songs, you can tell. Like, you talked about Angola, you talked about Senegal. Those are all, of course, African players. So they're just destroying. If you're not like a purebred Englishman and some of these, they hate you. They hate you. Even if you like mess up for the team, I mean, they just ridicule you. And it's too extreme, but I will say it's creative and funny and from a distance.
Some
not that I participate in it, but it is kind of funny.
It's
some
such a different culture.
Like, I don't even. I'm like we said at the beginning of this. Nothing really bothers me. I can read all these, but some of these are genuinely horrible. Like, there's no way I could. Like, some of these ones that have been translated from German are awful.
Oh, there's some bad ones with the Nazis and that stuff. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, no,
It is amazing that they all chant it. They all
everybody's in sync.
Everybody.
In unison.
It is amazing to listen to.
There's one where they had have you ever seen this video where they were having a moment of silence in this stadium?
Oh, and
across the way that somebody goes, "He's in a fucking box."
Yeah, and then
everybody starts going nuts.
I know exactly
and the one guy starts
about.
going, "It's all gone off. We knew it would happen."
I knew it would happen. I got to try to find that and play this in the mic.
I'm trying to find a couple more here that aren't absolutely diabolical, because there are some that are really bad. You'll have to read some of these.
And anytime I think of or hear the word hooligan or hooliganism, I think of soccer fan immediately.
Yeah, that's what it's made for.
Matt, so this was the minute of silence interrupted. Chester versus Wrexham.
Oh, that's
so
Wrexham's a popular
a moment of silence.
So it was a moment of silence for somebody, and then somebody screams, what's his name? Or somebody is in a box. It says, for anybody wondering, the Chester fan shouts, "Scotty's in a box." Scotty was a Wrexham fan that died in his sleep prior to the game. So
it's a moment of silence. You just knew that was going to happen.
I'm telling you, these people are a different breed.
Hey, Chris, you'll like this one. So
that's amazing.
As a precursor to this, Heather Mills is a model who lost her leg in I believe a skating accident or something.
Paul McCartney's wife.
And
she lost a leg.
The chant for this is
hold on,
let me see. Eduardo O. He tried to do some skill. Now he walks like Heather Mills.
I wonder who they're making fun of. Eduardo who? That's so good, man.
Yeah, I guess Eduardo broke his leg, and they were going after him. I don't know who Eduardo is. Oh my good God! I got to show you some of these after.
But I think if someone did that and made fun of me, I would actually, after I would calm down a tad, I would probably find a little appreciation in how creative it was.
Yeah,
I don't think it's ever too soon to tell a joke. Like, in my opinion, I really truly don't.
No,
because I think humor is what keeps us all alive. And a lot of these people, they may make fun of you here, but you know what? Afterwards, maybe they buy you a beer. I don't know that to be sure, because some of these places will beat you to death probably. And
and like you said about, like, if they were saying it to you, you would be able to take it and appreciate their creativity.
Yes,
that's some of the problems with some athletes now, is that when they get shit talked to them, is they give it back. That's exactly what they want.
They couldn't handle it.
That's exactly what fans want. A guy who's really good at it is Fernando Tatis. When he gets shit talked, he just laughs.
Yeah, he plays perfect.
He plays it perfect.
Shrugs it off.
Like, and even like back playing in college, when dugouts would talk shit to you, they would love when you would give it
Oh,
back.
you just gotta ignore 'em.
They love when you give it talk shit back, because then you feed into it.
And
You got to just
they're
ignore
inside
it
your head, and
or
they're gonna
laugh. You have to laugh at it, which I think was hilarious. I loved when dugouts would talk shit to me because I thought it was so funny.
Our athletes in North America for NBA and NFL, they couldn't handle us. Can you imagine Kevin Durant out a chant like that?
He's bad
He'd
about
fall
it.
apart.
Russell Westbrook is
They want to go in the
horrible about it,
stands.
too.
They go and fight with these people who end up dead. Like, they'll actually kill you.
Be
They'll
like
kill
Ron
you.
Artest.
This one is,
Yeah, right. Malice at the Palace. That's what it will be. But these people are even more barbaric than a few idiots from Detroit who were drunk. These people don't care. Like, they were ingrained in hatred when they were born.
If I could read, like, I literally probably can't read these because we'll get flagged, but like, and I don't even want to read them because they're bad, like really bad.
Now you gave Chris something to do tonight during election night.
Can you read them at the Pine Room on Saturday?
Yeah, we
Oh,
can.
yeah,
but,
that would be-
all right, here, this
we
one
gotta
is, you ever
write
heard
that
of
down. We gotta
Always
do
Look
that.
on the Bright Side of Life? You ever seen that? Like, always look on the bright side of life. This one was chanted in a reference to two Leeds fans that were stabbed in Istanbul. And it was always look out for Turks carrying knives. Do-do.
Oh, my God.
Why?
And that's like not bad compared to some of the ones that
They got a point. Yeah.
But
Hooliganism's real, people.
Wow.
Hit
us with one more, Job.
All right, I'll give you one
All
more.
right, then I got to ask Job.
Yeah, let me see if I can follow. Well, you guys keep going on.
Well, so you talk about giving it back to him. Now, what did you think the other day about Kelsey's brother who stole that phone? And
That was I thought that was cool.
I wish
that
he
was
would've-
okay.
I wish he'd have done that to the guy.
I wish he'd have punched that guy in the face.
right.
Well, my observation from that was fine. Like, I mean, I have no problem with him hitting the dude or knocking the phone or whatever. But then he was using this.
He said it.
Then
back.
he was saying the new F word now that
He said it back.
Like, he just kept saying it.
Yeah,
to him.
he said it back.
Which I am not offended by at all. But some people, if he's on the wrong side of the political aisle and he says that, he's the worst guy in the world. But Kelsey gets a pass. So that part I'm a little bit iffy about.
I was asking Cooley and that said that, did you guys see that? And that he said that. I was like, is he getting canceled? And they said, no, I think he's okay. I was like, well, I mean.
But if he's if he had a Trump sticker on and he said that, fuck, he'd be done forever.
I don't. That
part, the double standards, I hate
agree with
that
you, man.
shit.
I was like, I don't, because if he's anybody else, he's probably going to get torched for it. But
it doesn't
I
offend
didn't.
me.
I liked his reaction. I thought it was okay.
Compared to that fucking moron for the Ravens that was beating those people up unprovoked.
Oh,
that guy should get the fucking electric chair.
Jack Callis.
That guy, like he. That's what they do over there.
Yeah.
And that was even worse. That guy deserves every extent of the law.
That dickhead.
Then no excuse for that.
They need to throw him.
I'm all for heckling people. I'm all for busting people's balls, being insensitive to them, brutalizing them verbally. But you got to draw the line at some point.
But I mean,
and you can't involve children and things like that. You don't want to do that. And then what these poor guys go through on here, Chris, in like when Jub's reading those things, I mean, they do awful things to these poor African players. They throw bananas at them and stuff. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's in very poor taste, and they don't see anything wrong with it. But Jub, you'll keep reading those things all night now. What do you got for us now?
I mean,
these people are barbarians.
I'm still trying to find one that's decent here.
That you can actually. He's looking for one that's NC-17 instead of completely X-rated.
This one was towards. I guess there's. Oh, I don't even want to. We're getting into some dark territory here. This is sung to Ji-Sung Park, who I believe I think he's Japanese.
No, he's a Korean. Korean, yeah.
Oh, this is bad. Park, wherever you may be, you eat dogs in your home country, but it could be worse. You could be scouse eating rats in a council house. And that was sung because I guess they don't like the scouse. Oh,
my. That is incredible. How are they that creative?
Stop,
who comes
stop
up with
Asian
these?
hate.
Yeah. I wonder who comes up with these and, like, establishes them that they're going to be sung that day.
I guess they just chanted, "You suck, asshole," to Don Garber.
I think a lot of these
About
got to
eating
be
dogs.
from the UK and England.
Oh, most of those are the other ones down in South America. They'll just trample you to death.
Yeah,
They'll
say that.
stab you.
I think the UK, I guess at least they won't kill you.
Well, maybe not always,
Yeah,
but they'll beat
you're
you
right.
up. They'll maim you, leave you like brain damaged, but maybe not dead.
This was to Liverpool supporters.
They're on right now.
Yeah, they're
brutal. We're Liverpool people.
This says, you're just a scouser, a fucking scouser. You're only happy on, I don't know what Giro Day means. What's that mean? Gyro Day? Gyro Day?
Is that no, wait, that's I think that's a war tribute. I think.
Then it says, your mom's out
I don't know why you'd be happy.
The rest goes, your mom's out thieving, your dad's drug dealing.
Oh my
Please
God.
don't take my hubcaps away.
What a goal. Holy shit. Another header,
goal.
Chris.
Cody Gakpo.
Another
header.
header. That was
Offside.
unbelievable. Oh,
See, you can't get
Wave.
excited.
nope. Waving a flag. There's flags even in soccer. Shut it down. Oh, before we wrap up, I want to mention this on the radio today, but we didn't get to it. I could not believe what I saw today driving home from the gym. I turned down a street. I looked to my left. What do you think this guy was riding? That sounds really bad. He was riding it's not a vehicle, but it wasn't a bike. I could not fucking believe what I saw.
A tricycle.
No,
A big wheel.
not a big wheel. Take the wheels away.
A unicycle. Oh no, you said
Unicycle?
no.
A
wheels.
unicycle.
A boat.
I saw a guy. That was a unicycle. I saw a guy riding a unicycle today up a hill
Wow.
in Pitts. It was incredible. I don't know
That's
why.
pretty
I,
talented. Does he
your
work
way.
for the circus?
he might. I just thought that was amazing that I'd never seen a guy on a
Could he juggle?
unicycle.
Could he juggle too?
He was riding a big ass wheel too.
Wow.
Took it right up the hill and then just crested over and went away.
This one's Burnley chants to Blackburn.
Okay.
Who are bitter rivals in reference to Jack Walker, who was the chairman of Blackburn when they won the Premier League and the first man to effectively buy a team in the Premier League. And I guess he had a heart attack. He says, who's that lying on the carpet? Who's that dying on the floor? It's Jack Walker on his back, and he's had a heart attack, and he won't be funding Blackburn anymore.
Oh my God!
That's awesome.
How did they think of that?
That is awesome.
That's incredible.
That's a great one.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That might be the best one we've
man.
heard.
You
Stop
gotta
there.
love it.
Stop
Yeah,
there.
That's
all
go
right.
out on a high
That's
note.
unreal.
Well,
how are they that creative?
Jeez.
Rest in peace, Jack.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
R.I.P. Jack.
All
No
right.
hate from us. Just
Yeah.
enjoying a
Just
little laugh at
reading
your
shit.
expense.
Yeah.
Nothing he could do about it.
No, out of his hands.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Chris, send us away.
Oh, guys, it was great. Thanks for listening to episode 134,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, on
I guess-
election day. We'll
Yeah,
see if we're back for
election day
135.
Yeah.
No results yet, except
Hopefully,
from, the one place in New Hampshire.
yeah.
It's 6 people.
Six,
a little
six
knot.
versus
Yeah.
6, or 3-3.
Yep. Yeah, well, let's just
So,
hope
yeah.
we're not turned into a police state by next
Yeah, well,
week.
hopefully we're still here on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay.
Agreed.
When do you think we should expect to know the result? Well, probably by time they hear this, probably won't be by then, right?
No. I mean, tonight, if Trump takes care of business and wins, he wins Arizona and he wins. Oh my God, Howland just hit the crossbar. If he wins North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, and then he can maybe take Wisconsin, it probably be over tonight.
When do the polls close?
Depends on your time zone. So for us, most places 7:30 of your local time.
And
I don't
then
even know if I want to watch.
does it immediately go into the
Yeah.
system?
So of course, Pennsylvania is one of the states. They said it could take more than 5 days, which is ridiculous. Or like most states, within a few hours they'll have it all counted up and tallied. Most of it's real time, but there are some states. I think Arizona is another one that takes a while, which they had questions the last time. So, but Trump doesn't need Pennsylvania to win it. I thought he was going to punch.
I thought he was too.
I like, wait, they're on the same team. I think. Geez, that would have been interesting. But if Trump doesn't need to win Pennsylvania, she does. So he could clinch. He could win it. He could win it.
So we could see it. We could see a victory.
I would say
tonight.
we could see it tomorrow. Early tomorrow.
Are you gonna stay up?
I won't
tonight?
be able to not. I just like last time I went to bed and he was in total control, and I'd done a lot of research on the counties that were left, and I said he's going to win this. There's no possible way there could be enough votes in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, and in Arizona. That were the 3 states that were still left. And then I woke up and then a whole world hell broke loose, and these dead people were voting and all this stuff. But I didn't understand. But yeah, I'll have no choice. I'll be very uneasy all evening. Yeah, I don't know. He can win it very, very big too. I don't know if she can win it big. I'm not certain of that, but we'll see. I'll just hope for the best.
Be an interesting night. I'm pretty excited
it's
to
a
watch.
fascinating night.
See, I don't even want to watch it just because that'll get my heart rate going. I'll get
we'll
pissed
do that.
off, and I don't want to do it. I'll watch the Penguins and go to bed.
Well, they might get your heart rate up. But you're used to that.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
They play
at Islanders, I think.
Yeah, I think at Islanders.
But anyway, hey, thanks for joining us. 134. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Bye.
Well done, Chris.
Oh, yeah, I'm great. Thanks.
Oh, shit. All right.
All right. Enjoy reading them.
We got